Fixed versus flexible exchange rate regime presented by Akshata MCom Final MPM Government First Grade College Karkala. Fixed versus flexible exchange rate regime. Fixed exchange rate system is referred to as the exchange system where the exchange rate is fixed by the government or any monetary authority. It is not determined by the market forces. Fixed exchange rate system means exchange rate is fixed by the government or any monetary authority. It is not determined by the market forces. For example, for $1 rupees 50. It is 50 only for a year, for a month, for a week. So it is not changed. If there is any change has to be done, it is done only by the central government. Flexible exchange rate system is the exchange system where the exchange rate is dependent upon the supply and demand of money in the market. Flexible exchange rate system means exchange rate is dependent upon the demand and supply of the money in the market. In a flexible exchange rate system, the value of the currency is allowed to fluctuate freely as per the changes in the demand and supply of the foreign exchange. Fixed and flexible exchange rate. Flexible exchange rate system means the exchange rate is fluctuate many times depending upon the demand and supply of the currencies. Fixed exchange rate system. Fixed exchange rate is the rate which is officially fixed by the government or monetary authority and not determined by market forces. Fixed exchange rate is determined by the government or monetary authority and not determined by the market forces. It means demand and supply. Only a very small deviation from this fixed value is possible. In this system, foreign central banks stand ready to buy and sell their currencies at a fixed price. In this system, foreign central banks are stand to ready to buy and sell their currencies at a fixed price only. They do not encourage the flexible exchange rate system. A typical kind of this system was used under gold standard system, in which each country committed itself to convert freely its currency into gold at a fixed price. So fixed exchange rate system encourage for gold reserve system. So they easily convert their currencies into gold at a fixed price. In other words, value of each currency was defined in terms of gold and therefore exchange rate was fixed according to the gold value of currencies that have to be exchanged. This was called mint par value of exchange. Their currencies are converted into gold because exchange rate is fixed. So it is called mint per value of exchange. Merits of fixed exchange rate system. It ensures stability in exchange rate which encourages foreign trade because there is stability in the economy. For example, for $1 rupees 50 is fixed only. So importers, exporters, everyone is sure about the exchange rate is not going to change. That is why it is going to promote international trade, and that is why it brings stability in the economy. It contributes to the coordination of macro policies of countries in an interdependent world economy. Fixed exchange rate system contributes to the coordination of all macro policies of the countries. Third point, fixed exchange rate ensure that major economic disturbances in the member countries do not occur. Under fixed exchange rate is fixed only. So there is no disturbances in the member countries occurred. It prevents capital outflow. With a fixed exchange rate, an excess supply of domestic money will cause a capital outflow because some of this excess supply is eliminated via a balance of payment deficit. Fifth point, fixed exchange rates are more conducive to expansion of world trade because it prevents risk and uncertainty in transactions. Because once the foreign investors know that the exchange rate is not going to change, so what will happen? The security or the surety, the exchange rate is fixed. That is going to them encouragement to invest more into the other nations. So fixed exchange rates are more conducive to expansion of world trade. Sixth point, it prevents speculation in foreign exchange market. Speculation means people think that in the future time period the rates can be increased or decreased. There is no fear of speculation. No speculation can be made about the future because fixed exchange rate is fixed. Today also $1 rupees 50, tomorrow also $1 rupees 50, and for month a year $1 rupees 50 only. It remains fixed, so there is no fear of speculation. Demerits of fixed exchange rate system. Fear of devaluation. In a situation of excess demand, central bank uses its reserves to maintain foreign exchange rate. But when reserves are exhausted and excess demand still persists, government is compelled to devalue domestic currency. Devaluation means excess demand. Central bank uses its reserves to maintain a foreign exchange rate. If the reserves are exhausted, demand is still persists, government is compelled to devalue domestic currency. It means is an official lowering of the value of a country's currency within a fixed exchange rate system, in which a monetary authority formally sets a lower exchange rate of the national currency in relation to a foreign reference. Benefits of free markets are deprived. Under the fixed exchange rate system, the exchange rate is fixed. So, benefits of free markets are deprived. There is always possibility of undervaluation or overvaluation. Under the fixed exchange rate system, there is always undervaluation or overvaluation of currencies. Flexible exchange rate system. The system of exchange rate in which rate of exchange is determined by forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange market is called flexible exchange rate system. Here, value of currency is allowed to fluctuate or adjust freely according to change in demand and supply of foreign exchange. Flexible exchange rate system means exchange rate is determined by the market forces. Means demand and supply of foreign exchange market is called flexible exchange rate system. It is fluctuate freely based upon the demand and supply of foreign exchange. There is no official intervention in foreign exchange market. Under the flexible exchange rate system, there is no official intervention in the foreign exchange market. Under this system, the central bank without intervention allows the exchange rate to adjust so as to equate the supply and demand for foreign currency. The foreign exchange market is busy at all times by changes in the exchange rate. Under flexible exchange rate system, the exchange rate is changed many times. So the foreign exchange market is busy at all times for change the exchange rate. Merits of flexible exchange rate system. Deficit or surplus in balance of payment is automatically corrected. Under the flexible exchange rate system, the exchange rate is increased or decreased. So automatically, if there is any deficit or surplus in the balance of payment, is automatically corrected. There is no need for governments to hold any foreign exchange reserve because exchange rate is fixed. Demand and supply equal, so automatically equilibrium exchange rate is changed when demand and supply increase or decrease, so there is no need of reserve, so there is no need for government to hold any foreign exchange reserve. It helps in optimum resource allocation because it is the forces of demand and supply which are determining a rate of exchange. It frees the government from problem of balance of payment. Under the flexible exchange rate system, the exchange rate increased or decreased. So it frees the government from the problem of balance of payment. Demerits of flexible exchange rate system. It encourages speculation leading to fluctuations in foreign exchange rate. Flexible exchange rate system, it encourages speculations means when a person think about the future, the exchange rate increased or decreased, so it encourages speculations. Under the fixed exchange rate system, it discourages the speculation. Wide fluctuation in exchange rate hampers foreign trade and capital movement between countries. Under the flexible exchange rate system, the international mobility of capital from one country to another country. It hampers foreign trade and capital movement between countries. It generates inflationary pressure when prices of imports go up due to depreciation of currency. Flexible exchange rate system, it generates inflationary pressure when prices of imports go up due to depreciation of currency. Fixed versus flexible exchange rate regime. Difference between fixed and flexible exchange rate regime. First point, the exchange rate which the government sets and maintains at the same level is called fixed exchange rate. The exchange rate that varies with the variation in market forces is called flexible exchange rate. Fixed exchange rate means a rate is determined by the government. Under flexible exchange rate, the variation in the market forces means demand and supply. The fixed exchange rate is determined by the government or the central bank of the country. On the other hand, the flexible exchange rate is fixed by demand and supply forces. Fixed exchange rate is determined by the government or central bank. Flexible exchange rate is determined by the demand and supply. In fixed exchange rate system, a reduction in the par value of currency is termed as devaluation and a rise as the revaluation. On the other hand, in the flexible exchange rate system, the decrease in currency price is regarded as depreciation and increase as the appreciation. Under the fixed exchange rate system, reduction in the par value of the currency is called as the devaluation and rise in the value of the currency is called a revaluation. Under the flexible exchange rate system, decrease in the currency is called as a depreciation and increase in the value of the currency is called as appreciation. In fixed exchange rate system, speculation takes place when there is a rumor about change in government policy. Speculation is common in the flexible exchange rate system. Under fixed exchange rate system, it discourages the speculation. Under flexible exchange rate system, it encourages the speculation. In fixed exchange rate system, it ensures stability in international money market, exchange market, but in flexible exchange rate system, it causes instability in the international money market. Under fixed exchange rate system, there is a stability in the international money market. The exchange rate is fixed only. Under the flexible exchange rate system, there is instability in the money market because exchange rate is changed many times. Fixed exchange rates encourage venture capital in international money market. Flexible exchange rates discourage venture capital in international money market. Venture capital means to invest money highly risky project. For example, when the people invest the money in a foreign currencies, in some area exchange rate is cheaper, in some area exchange rate is costed. So it is difficult to venture capital because if the exchange rate is fixed, if the exchange rate is fixed, it encourages the venture capital. If the exchange rate is flexible, it discourages the venture capital. Fixed exchange rates are often supported with the huge international reserve of gold. Flexible exchange rates are not be supported with international reserve. Fixed exchange rate is encourages the need of gold reserve. Flexible exchange, there is no need of gold reserve. In fixed exchange rate, the self-adjusting mechanism operates through variation in the supply of money, domestic interest rate and price. The flexible exchange rate that operates to remove external instability by the change in forex rate or foreign exchange rate. In fixed exchange rate, this self-adjusting mechanism through variation in the supply of money, domestic interest rate and price. In the flexible exchange rate, there is instability in the change in the foreign exchange rate. Conclusion: as both the exchange rate system have their positive and negative aspects, it is not possible for economists to reach a particular conclusion. While theoreticians are in favor of flexible exchange rate due to their reliance on the free market system and price mechanism, policymakers and central bankers supported fixed exchange rate system. Thank you.